Alright, hello everybody, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be showing you guys my DNA. I've tested twice, once with my heritage, and then again with 23andMe. I probably should have done like Ancestry and 23andMe instead because you can't upload DNA results to those, and I would have just been able to take my data from one of them and stick onto my heritage anyway. But it's fine. So I'm going to start with the least reliable one. I don't know if it's the least reliable, I'm just doing it in a random order. But this is on family tree DNA because I just assume since it's supposed to be about family trees rather than, I don't know, I'll do that. I paid for my origins, which was like £10 extra. So I got my data from my heritage, which was the first test I did. I did that test ages ago, and just uploaded it here and here's my origins. Just for a little bit of background, my dad is British and my mum is Spanish. That easy. It's very simple. There's nothing else in the family as far as I'm concerned. So straight away we have 46% Iberian Peninsula and 8% Basque. So this is for my mum, 100%. Virtually 50%, not bad. And I'm guessing all of the rest of it, all of this Western European and a little bit of Eastern European, is probably for my dad. There's a surprisingly small amount of English, England, Wales, and Scotland. I would have thought there'd be more, but to be fair, there is overlap with Central Europe, even though in the area that overlaps, none of my dad's family members are from here. His family members, his mum is from like here, his dad is from here. So that doesn't really, it's a bit too far north to overlap with this, but I don't know, it shouldn't be too unreasonable. But now we get into Eastern Europe. I wouldn't expect that, to be fair. I mean, it's possible. I mean, further back, I would think it is possible. But what's the percentage? 7%. That's quite high, but it's not too high. It might have just come from a bunch of Polish people coming to the UK for whatever reason, I guess. This one is, the Central Europe is still the most surprising. Like, according to this, so 25%, that would mean that my dad would be 50%. That's very high. You would think that he would be mostly British and Irish. But anyway, that's that. My mum is specifically from southwestern Spain. Like, my mum's mum is from around here, in Extremadura, around Montijo. And my mum's dad is from a small village next to Alcalá de Real, which is around here. So I'm expecting if there are any that go more specific than just the Iberian Peninsula, it's going to say something like southwestern or something like that, probably. And yeah, so that's my family tree DNA. Next one will be my living DNA. So on this one, straight away, there's a lot more British on there. So I can look at my recent ancestry on this, and we have Europe South, which is split into West Iberia, which includes both the part where my grandma's from and where my granddad's from, so that's not surprising at all, and also a bit of South Italy. I don't know, probably just a coincidence, misread or something. And then we go to the British and Irish, in which case the areas aren't that surprising. Like, the biggest is Northumbria, which that just means I have more DNA matches from there than any other one of these regions they have. Like, my dad's dad is from Dumfriesshire, which is here, and it definitely wouldn't surprise me if all of his family moved to the major cities around here, like Edinburgh, for example. That's probably what that is, because there's nothing in Dumfriesshire, you can't do anything there. And my dad's mum's side is from Cumbria, which is also quite high, so that's not surprising. A lot of them have moved slightly further down into Yorkshire and stuff. I know that from where my like dad's uncles and stuff like that are from. so that's reasonable. And my dad's mum is from North Wales, which is the second highest one on here, which isn't surprising at all. These are more surprising, but I'm guessing that's just because of immigration down into these southern areas, because southern areas of England just tend to be richer, so it's not that surprising that people would move there. So really, it's not unexpected whatsoever. And it definitely wouldn't surprise me if some of them had moved further north up to like what's it called? What was it called again? Aberdeen and that kind of area, because there's major cities there as well. It's not going to tell me the maternal or the paternal because I didn't buy them, because on 23andMe it shows them anyway, so that's fine. Like this one is probably one of the most specific ones. Then we go to MyHeritage. This is the MyHeritage result that I got from the MyHeritage test. So when oh no, that's the family tree one I'm talking about. So I took the MyHeritage test, and this is the one that I got straight away from that, right? Then there's another one here, which is when I uploaded my 23andMe DNA to MyHeritage. So with this one, my largest is Iberian, not that surprising. 33% is a bit lower than 50%, and it shows specifically the area from where my granddad is from, because my granddad will be between Jaén and Granada, around there. So that's pretty cool. Irish, Scottish and Welsh. So this time it's specifically showing Irish, Scottish and Welsh, which I would expect to be pretty high, bearing in mind my grandma is Welsh and my granddad is Scottish, and then also part of England that is quite literally inside this Irish, Scottish and Welsh section, so that's not surprising either. Italian, that I wouldn't expect, but Spanish and Italian populations tend to be quite closely related generally, so it might be hard to tell them apart, but even then 25.8% is very high. I really wouldn't expect it to be that high. North and West European, that will be from my dad as well, most likely. English, also from my dad. That's definitely not surprising either. It's quite low, but it's not too surprising. The groups within the UK shows Northwestern England and Northern Wales. That will probably be from my grandma. And then this one, which is just England, but it also seems to include, it also includes the part of Scotland that my granddad's father is from, like Dumfries, that kind of area. It includes that part of Scotland, and it also includes, obviously, Cumbria. So those groups are pretty reasonable, I would say. And we go on to the other one. This is from... No, I've already uploaded the DNA, mate. Can you let me go into that, please? If I go into my profile. Ah, right, that's why, because I'm not actually logged in. Hold on a second, let me just log in quickly. Well, you can't see it. Because I'm currently logged in on the other one. I'll just log into my account where I used the DNA from 23andMe instead. There we go. Because I put them on different accounts. Okay, so now if we go onto the DNA, ooh, what did I click on? Oops, ignore that. Go onto the DNA. Hello. Ah, please. Ethnicity estimate. Come on. Right, so here we go. And this is the exact same test, so the same populations, but this time using the 23andMe data. So it's been read slightly differently but being translated using the same thing. So straight away, Iberian is again the biggest, slightly lower than before, but 30% as opposed to 33. That's not really significant. We've got this one, which is even more specific than the other one. Super specific on that very specific area where my granddad is from, between Jaén and Granada. That very specific area, which is correct, which is surprising. And then there's this Spain one, which is very broad. literally just selects all of Spain and even parts of like Portugal. And then the Italian has overtaken the Irish, Scottish, and Welsh. 27%. What was it last time? Last time it was 25.8. So it hasn't increased by that much. But the Irish, Scottish, and Welsh has decreased. Again, the Italian will have to be a mystery, probably. Unless there's secret Italian people in the family. Very far back. There'll have to be multiple of them with that kind of percentage. Because I do have my family tree chased back more than far enough to be able to weed out someone with 27% in me, supposedly. So, Irish, Scottish, and Welsh, 21%. Not bad. It's a bit lower than last time, but that's because there's a lot more English than before. And this time, it seems to have gone very into on the North Wales. Like, we have the same Northwestern England and Northern Wales group, but we also have Northwestern Wales specifically, with a medium confidence level, which is not the exact area where my grandma was from. She was actually from northeastern Wales, but it's very, very likely that most of the members of her family further back from northwestern. It's very likely. And then we have this one, which is UK and Ireland. Just all of it. Yep, that's true. It doesn't seem to think I'm from the Shetland Islands, though. And then we have North and West European, which has dropped even further. And Baltic. Looks like the Eastern European's coming back again. Don't know why. It just likes to pick it up, I guess. Don't know exactly why that would be. And now we go on to 23andMe. I can straight away see that there's two main populations. This one is a lot bigger than the other one, though. And then there's trace results there. So we can just have a look. So, straight away, Spanish and Portuguese, 67.5%. That is a lot higher than you would expect. That is very high. It's very high for just one parent. But that's what it is, so I'm not sure how that is. Have I just inherited a lot more from my mum than from my dad or something? It's possible, I guess, probably. With the regions, it seems to be pretty accurate. It's gone Andalusia as the main one, and second place is Extremadura. I'm guessing the reason why these two aren't equal is just because more people in Andalusia are doing tests, because no one in Extremadura does anything. Everyone's poor or doesn't care. No one does anything. In Andalusia, there are actually people with money. So, Andalusia seems to be the biggest by a lot. And then there's Extremadura, which is second place. Like, that's where my grandma's from, that's where my granddad's from, so that's fine. Valencia, probably people moving. Also, people in Extremadura have a tendency of not living in Extremadura. Like, there are more people from Extremadura living outside than inside, because people just don't stay. Don't know why. So I guess maybe they've moved to Valencia, Castilla León, Galicia, La Rioja, probably. And then we go on to my British and Irish, 31.7% and 0.2% broadly Northwestern European. Usually when you see these DNA tests, there's a lot more of broad, but me, not at all. Broad, get out of here. 0.2% broadly Northwestern European, sure, but there's nothing else that's broad. Everything else is very specific. It's 0.2%. It's probably not going to say how much because it's very small. It's only 0.2% and it's very broad. British and Irish, it seems to think I'm mostly from northwestern England. Like, it seems to think I'm from Merseyside by the looks of things. I mean, Greater London is number 1, so I'm guessing family members just moved there. Merseyside is number 2. Probably the family members from North Wales have gone there. And also my granddad, even though his family were from Cumbria and Dumfriesshire, right? He was born in Lancashire. And I know he has familiars who are from Merseyside. I know that. And also in Manchester as well. So that's not surprising. I knew there were people that had moved to Tyne Wear and Yorkshire. I knew that already. West Midlands, I didn't know about West Midlands. And it looks like the place that they chose to go in Scotland from Dumfriesshire seemed to be Glasgow, apparently. I guess. I would think there'd be more in Scotland. I guess they just haven't been testing that side of the family as much, maybe? Or maybe they've just all kind of left. It's also possible. But anyway, I think that's that. I guess I could show Trace, but that's not really important. Indigenous American, 0.2%. It's probably just because I have Spanish, and lots of people with Spanish DNA also have Indigenous Americans. They probably thought, maybe it's Indigenous American. But no, I doubt it. I mean, it could be. I mean, it would be cool if it was. I'd have to go back pretty far to find it, but that would be cool, but I doubt it. It's only 0.2%, so it's not very reliable. Then we have North African. That is possible. I would definitely believe it if it said I have North African, just because of the link between North Africa and Spain. Generally, people in Western Spain and Portugal have more North African DNA than people in the East, and my family are from the far from the West, sorry. And also from the Southwest, which means the South is where the North Africans were in the country and the Muslims were in the country for longer. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. This one's also only 0.2% though, but I think this is more likely than the Indigenous American just because of history. And then there's Senegambian Guinean. I suppose it's possible it's West African at the end of the day, but it's probably just because people with Spanish DNA who are from Latin America or something will often also have West African. I mean, it is possible that I have it. I mean, it's very close to North Africa. It's very possible that perhaps Moors that went up into Spain and Portugal, they had some West African in them. It's very possible. Don't see why it wouldn't be. But other than that, it's just 1.1 unassigned, and that's it. I also did the health and the traits, so I can have a look at that now. Just to show you guys, because I can. Health and traits, come on. Right, so straight away. So bearing in mind this one says I'm virtually 70% Spanish. It's okay that I have the flag up in the background. It's all fine. I'm allowed to do it. I speak the language, I have the flag, my mum's Spanish, I'm apparently mostly Spanish. I mean, all of them seem to be saying that I've collected more from my mum than from my dad, probably. And, okay, let's just have a look at these things. All reports. So, health predisposition, no variants except for celiac disease. As far as I know, no one in my family has celiac disease. But it says I'm at slightly increased risk. But celiac disease isn't too bad of a problem. I mean, I would have been... If it had said I had chronic kidney disease, I would have been very unsurprised. So I was born with major kidney problems. Like, I had frequent UTIs when I was young, had to go under loads of treatment, was going to the hospital all the time, and it wasn't fun. But by the looks of things, it's not genetic, so it's all good. The only thing I have genetic, supposedly, is a slightly increased risk of celiac disease. I don't have celiac disease. No one I know has celiac disease. Maybe my children will, but if they do, it's not exactly the end of the world. It's not, celiac disease is a lot better than like having cancer or diabetes or cystic fibrosis or something like that. I'm not a carrier to any of these either or anything like that. Okay, now I can go down to here. Wellness. Alcohol flush reaction, unlikely to flush. I do not flush red when I drink alcohol. what 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 information is there on this? I have GG, unlikely to flush. So it seems to be a what causes sleepiness, headaches, and nausea. Genetic bottlenecks. It seems to be. Oh, it seems to be a mostly East Asian thing. Like in East Asia, it's very common. Southeast Asia is relatively common. Central Asia, it happens sometimes. Okay. I'm not from any of those groups, so it's not surprising. What else affects age? Other genetic variants. Okay. I don't have it at all. I'm GG. And I'm not from this area at all either. So that's probably why I don't. Like, when I drink, there's no visible change to me. Go back down. Caffeine consumption. Likely to consume more. I do consume a lot of caffeine. I don't know why that's to do with your genetics, but it's not surprising. Deep sleeper, less likely to be a deep sleeper. I'm a very deep sleeper. I could sleep through a bomb, I'm sure of it. Like, people have done very noisy things, lots of banging, all sorts, trying specifically to wake me up, and I don't wake up. I don't wake up to anything. My subconscious wakes me up sometimes. Like, if someone walks into the room when I'm asleep, and it's a kind of time that I would expect to be woken up, my body just kind of wakes me up the second they enter. It's quite weird. It's probably a common thing, but it's quite weird for me because if someone was to literally I don't even know, to smash down my wardrobe while I was in the room asleep, if it was late enough, if it was a time that I wasn't expecting to be woken up, I wouldn't wake up. So this isn't true, but it does say less likely. It doesn't say I'm not gonna be a deep sleeper at all. And maybe I'm secretly not a deep sleeper, but I guess but I don't know. See the percentage of customers with these results. So this is most common in Latino and African populations. Supposedly, Africans are never especially deep sleepers, and they're the most likely to be light sleepers, supposedly. Surprising? Interesting. South Asians are the most likely to be very deep sleepers. That's interesting. Right. Let's go back down to here. Genetic weight, predisposed to weigh less than average. That's definitely probably true. For an 18-year-old man who's 6'5", the average weight would be 198 pounds. I have no clue how heavy that is. The average weight would be 198. And how much do they expect me to weigh? I have more associated with lower than I have with higher. You told us you weigh 154. Yeah. Okay. I guess I calculated that at some point. Which is definitely less than 198. So, yeah. Fair enough. I'm not trying to lose weight, but... Okay then, so on to the next one. Lactose intolerant, likely tolerant. I am very lactose tolerant. Well, I'm just lactose tolerant, but I drink a lot of milk. I eat a lot of yogurt. If I was lactose intolerant, I'd probably be dead by now. Well, I wouldn't do what I do if I was lactose intolerant. But if I kept up my current dairy intake and I was lactose intolerant, I don't think I'd survive. I have a very high, I eat a lot of dairy. AA, likely not lactose intolerant. Oh, so I'm literally two of them. No, I'm not even a carrier of being lactose intolerant. My children cannot be lactose intolerant. It's genetically impossible. That's cool. Means I can force my children to have lots of milk. Good, 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 good. Just what I wanted. Next, muscle composition, common elite power athletes. I swear it says that for everyone. I don't think I've ever seen it not say that. Saturated fat and weight, likely to weigh more on a high saturated fat diet. I don't know. I don't know how, if I have a high saturated fat diet. I don't think I do. Red meat, cheese, ice cream. I don't eat ice cream. I don't like ice cream. I eat a reasonable amount of cheese. I don't really eat a lot of meat. I mostly just eat fish, really. Oh wow, I've got two of them. Oh right. Likely similar weights. Some diets are high, low. Ah, interesting. So I have two of the recessive gene in that one. It's always interesting when you have two of the recessive. Elite power, sleep movement, likely more than average movement. I move a lot in my sleep. Like, people say I'm constantly shifting around, constantly moving when I'm asleep, and whenever I wake up, I will be literally inside the duvet cover, and I wouldn't be surprised. Like, if I need to have a very kind of tight duvet cover, otherwise I do end up inside it. Like, if I'm sleeping with the duvet on top of me, and it's a loose duvet cover, I will be inside the duvet cover. The duvet itself might be elsewhere. I might be upside down, might not even be in my bed sometimes, and I don't notice because I'm a very deep sleeper. I move a lot in my sleep. Ability to match musical pitch, less likely. I can do that, but I'm not perfect pitch. I have good relative pitch though. Asparagus odor detection, likely can smell. I cannot. I've never been able to smell anything in the urine from asparagus. Never. It just smells like normal urine to me. It says I should be able to smell it. I can't. Never have. I just can't. AG. No. Maybe it does, but I can't tell. I can't smell that. Okay, back hair. Likely little upper back hair. I'm quite young. I don't know yet. Like, I haven't really started growing chest hair yet, let alone back hair. To be fair, I do have some hairs on my shoulders and stuff, but there's definitely going to be more later on. Like, I'm still getting a lot hairier a lot quicker. My legs are already very hairy, but my arms are getting hairier and hairier, like, all the time. And my belly is getting hairier, my chest is getting hairier. It wouldn't surprise me if my back is getting hairier too. I don't know. I can't really see it. No one's ever said I have a hairy back, though. Bald spot. Likely no bald spot. That's good. I'm not balding yet. I probably won't be. No one in my family has balded at all. Everyone in my family has good hair. All of them. My granddad has good hair. My uncles have good hair. My dad has good hair. My other granddad. My cousins have good hair. Everyone has good hair in my family. When I say good hair, I mean they're not balding. They don't necessarily have strong or healthy hair, but they're not balding, and that's something. Bitter taste, likely can't taste bitter. Really? I can taste bitterness. Oh, bitterness in Brussels sprouts and... No, I can't taste that at all, no. When I eat broccoli and Brussels sprouts, they taste like nothing. Completely tasteless. I don't like them for that. Like, I eat them, it's just kind of like eating water. Do raw broccoli taste bitter? No, they don't. Not even when they're raw. No. They don't taste bitter to me at all. So CC unable, and GC is able to detect certain bitter tastes in them, whereas CC unable to detect certain bitter tastes. Oh right, so these two are both able and this one's unable. No, I can't taste it in broccoli or Brussels sprouts. No, they don't taste bitter to me. It just tastes bland. Very bland on their own. Bunions, I don't have a bunion. Cheek dimples, I don't have dimples. Coriander taste, slightly higher odds of disliking coriander. I hate coriander. It's disgusting. Honestly, I can't cope with that stuff. It's terrible. I eat it, it's like, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a really unpleasant taste. No, I hate it. Likely no cleft chin. I do have a cleft chin actually. You probably can't see it very well, but if I like squeeze it, look, it does that. See? Bum chin. Like it's mostly flat and then it just kind of goes in a tiny bit at the end here. Dandruff, more likely to get dandruff. I do get dandruff if I don't have the right shampoo, but I do have the right shampoo right now, so it's fine. Likely detached earlobes. My earlobes are in fact detached. See? Attached, floppy. It's not very high resolution camera, but they are detached. Early hair loss, likely no hair loss. Good. So I seem to be between less likely and more likely is that and less likely is that. Okay. So I'm at the minimum equally likely and at most much less likely. Okay. To have early hair loss. I'll take that. No one else in my family has balding problems. So I'll probably be fine. And this says I'll probably be fine as well. Probably. It's not for sure, but I doubt I will. Earwax type likely wet. My earwax is very wet. It's sticky and all that good stuff. 10% have dry, flaky earwax. Mine is wet. It's not that dark. It's like yellow. It's not black or anything. So what do I have? I have CT, which is likely wet earwax. Oh, so I have one of the T's. And this also seems to be an East Asian thing, having dry earwax. Wonder where I got the T from. Weird. Eye colour, likely blue or green eyes. I have blue eyes. People with my genetics, 52% have blue eyes. I'm part of that 52%. GG. Likely blue or green eyes. Yeah, I do have blue eyes. Right. GG, it's not surprising. My dad has blue eyes. My mum has green eyes. So, both of my parents will have likely blue or green eyes. My grandparents on my mum's side, like my dad's parents both have blue eyes, and he also has blue eyes. On my mum's side, she has green eyes, her dad has blue eyes, and her mum has brown eyes. So, perhaps brown or hazel. So maybe not, because she does have blue or green. She has green eyes. There we go. Fear of heights, less likely than average to be afraid of heights. I'm not afraid of heights. Fear of public speaking, less likely to have a fear of public speaking. I don't have a fear of public speaking. Finger length radio, likely ring finger longer. My ring finger is in fact longer. Thus the ring finger. That's the pointing finger. This one is longer than this one. Flat feet, less likely to average. What's flat feet? What are flat feet? Flat feet, low arch on the inside of the foot. Nah, I don't have flat feet. I have a 22% chance I don't have flat feet at all, no. Is it gonna tell me who has more flat feet? Oh, sorry, I should have been reading that out loud, I don't know. It doesn't really say anything major. After the flat feet, freckles, likely little freckling. I don't have freckles, but when I was very young, I had some, a little bit. I never had much, but I don't have any anymore these days. Hair photo bleaching, more likely I do. When I go out, in the summer, my hair is lighter than in the winter. Right now it's winter, I have quite dark hair. The lighting makes it look a bit lighter, to be fair, but it kind of makes everything look a bit grey and tones down this lighting. But I have dark brown hair, and in the summer it's still dark brown, but it's definitely lighter than it was before. Like whenever I cut my hair in the summer, my hair always just gets darker all of a sudden when I've cut it, because it's darker near the roots where it hasn't been exposed to the sun. Hair, likely straight or wavy. No, my hair is actually curly. It's hard to see really, but it's quite curly. It's not small curls or anything, it's big curls, relatively big curls. It's like, I would say I'm part of this 9%. I have big curls, I don't have small curls, and I don't have tight curls like a black person would. I'm pretty sure I have big curls. Maybe wavy? I don't think so though. It's definitely curls. It's big curls though. I'm probably on this lower end where it's almost equal really. Like there's a big boy of more likely curly, probably for my mum. And this most likely straight is probably for my dad, because my dad has straight hair. My mum and everyone on my mum's family side of the family have very curly hair. I also have very curly hair. So I'm assuming it's like that. Less likely to have thick hair. I don't know if I have thick hair or not. I think I do. Like, people always say I have thick hair, but I'm not actually that sure. I'm not sure if I have thick hair or not, but people always say I do. Because my hair is very good at just kind of staying wherever I put it and stuff like that. It just kind of, it's just very flexible and it curls in weird ways. I don't know. 50% doesn't mean anything. Likely light hair. I have dark brown hair. Does that count as light because it's not black? Actually, the chances of having dark brown hair are quite high, aren't they? Like, it says I'm either going to have light brown or dark brown hair, basically. I have dark brown hair, but just about. In the summer, maybe? No. I do think I have dark brown hair, which is pretty likely. 33% is quite high. Like, it seems to be about 50-50 whether I have dark or light hair. I'm guessing dark will be dark brown or black. So obviously there's a higher chance of me having these. But I do have dark brown hair, and the chance of that is 33%, the second highest, and not by very much. So it's not surprising that I have dark brown hair, really. More brunette. I am more brunette. More blonde. It's a big range here. I'm not blonde. I'm definitely brunette. I have brown hair. I have dark brown hair, that's what I have. My natural hair colour is dark brown or black. Uh, misophonia. More likely to hate chewing sounds. I hate chewing sounds. Mosquito bite. Likely bitten more often than others. I don't tend to get bitten by mosquitoes that much. Like in the winter, I do tend to get bitten by mosquitoes, but in the summer, very rarely. Like in the UK, I never get bitten, but that's because there aren't any mosquitoes here. Maybe there are in other parts, but definitely not here. And in Spain, I tend to get bitten like once or twice in the winter, and I never get bitten in the summer. And people come out with quite a few bites often, but I don't. I don't think I get bitten. I think I get bitten less than others. Although maybe that's just because I'm surrounded by a lot of people that also get bitten more by mosquitoes, because they're all family that I compare myself to. I've never gone somewhere with mosquitoes with non-family members, so I don't know. Don't know how much normal people get bitten. Motion sickness, more likely to expose. Yeah, I do. Newborn hair, likely little baby hair. I actually had quite a bit of baby hair. And it was jet black as well. So it's only 60-40. That's not very, very telling. So that's more like the thing with my hair is that I've gone through a lot of hair colours in my time. I was born with jet black hair, and it kind of went blonde, and then it's been getting darker and darker and darker. And by the time I was about 13, I had dark brown hair, and by the time I was about 6, I had brown hair. But between the ages of like 1 and like 4, I was blonde. And between like newborn and 1, I had jet black hair, and I've had brown hair ever since then. But my hair's is at some of its darkest right now. It's darker than it was before I had black hair. After I had black hair. Sorry. Well, back here. Vertex. I do not sneeze when I see the sun. I don't have red hair. Likely lighter skin. I don't have dark skin. What does it mean by lighter skin? Alright. I'd say I probably have moderately fair. Probably. Moderately fair. I do tan quite easily, but I am quite pale when I'm not tanned. But I tend to be darker than most British people, but not by a lot. So I'd say I probably have moderately fair skin. And in the summer I can get quite dark. I can easily get to olive. Easily. So I probably have moderately fair skin that tans relatively easily, probably. And then we have stretch marks, 50% chance. I do have stretch marks just because I'm quite tall, and I have stretch marks on my back from when I was growing. Sweet versus salty, like for salty, I really don't like sweet things. Like your second toe longer. My second toe is a lot longer than my big toe. Well, it's not a lot longer, but it is longer. But people don't tend to notice, especially not when I'm wearing socks, because the toenails on my big toe are quite long. Yeah. Like, I have really weirdly shaped toes. Everyone says they're shaped like hammers, because they're quite skinny, and then they get really wide at the tip of the toe. And the nails also start going white, like ages before they come off the toe. Like my nails are really small. If you cut them down all the way down to where you stop seeing the white, it's almost as if I don't have toenails. They're really small. I don't know why. My feet are just weird. Like, I don't think I'd make much money on what's it called? The thing where you sell pictures of yourself and stuff. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. But anyway, I don't think I'd make much money on that website with feet pics, because I've just got weirdly shaped hairy feet. And they just go, ugh, what's that? And they're also enormous. I don't think people like that much. Unibrow, likely at least a little. I kind of get a few hairs in between, like a third eyebrow, I always say. and I tend to pluck them out just because it's like 5 hairs just here. It's not a monobrow at all. It's just a third eyebrow. I guess that counts as a little bit of I'm not likely to wake up around 8:39. I used to wake up a lot earlier than that. Now I wake up a lot later than that, so I don't have a clue. Likely no widow's peak. Do I have a widow's peak? I don't think so. Maybe I do. Is that a widow's peak? Maybe it is. I'm not sure. Well, anyway. That's it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.